Hello, driving with Tricia. I get all these great ideas while I'm driving, or I do a lot of things while I'm driving, and the best way for me to record it is on a camera. It's in front of me, the camera, sitting on my dashboard. If you notice, I'm not looking at the camera, so you do not have to worry about big fat woodchuck. So you don't have to worry about me. Don't yell at me for driving and being on freaking the phone, okay? Because I'm not. Anyway, I wanted to talk about breathing technique. There's a lot of there's one woman, mobility maker. She is just convinced that if you can learn how to properly breathe, you can fix 90% of your problems. And in fact, it's very true, because if you are restricting movement in your rib cage, it can very much affect your hips. There have been studies have shown that correcting the movement in the rib cage, can help just correct movement pattern. And you know, your body is one unit, right? Think about it like it's a car. And I say this a lot. It doesn't always come out as good as I want it to. But so you're a vehicle, and you're the vehicle. What you put into your body is the gas. If you use shitty gas, the car doesn't run as well. So kind of correlate that to food. And me, I'm not a strong nutrition. I am, but I'm not. I feel like our body kind of knows what it needs, and when we feed it the proper fuel, it works better. And while some people need carbs, others need protein, others need this. You know, if you don't feel good, something's not right, and that's how we should eat. If you're still hungry, eat a little more. You know, if you want to eat before you go to bed and you're not heavy and you're fit, then eat before you go to bed. If you're not fit, then obviously you need to not listen to your body, and maybe you need to help it self-correct, okay? Anyway, but breathing is a huge part of it, right? So if something doesn't work right somewhere along the way of a vehicle, if say one of your ball joints has worn unevenly, the car is really kind of shaking, you know? It doesn't like high speeds. It eventually wears on the tires. Your tires get all unevenly used, and the other ball joints and the frame can get bent. It's the same kind of process with your body. If one thing isn't working, it can mess the whole system up, movement pattern, right? So breathing, for me, I used breathing as an anxiety control thing, kind of. I would deep breathe and slowly breathe out. I taught breathing technique to all my athletes, which is, I called it belly breathing. So I do a lot of anaerobic work with athletes, because most of my teams I work with are football players and field hockey and regular hockey. I've worked with others, but those are my major groups that I work with. And they have spurts. Every one of them a stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. Really, how long are most of those? A football thing, what's the longest? 9 seconds? A football play is 9 seconds. A field hockey, I mean, it's whistle blow, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 4 seconds, even end to end, up and up, might be at the most 15 seconds, because that can happen in a field hockey game, right? I mean, it could go longer. Same up to hockey, up to 2 minutes. So, good way for them to teach your body how to quickly recover, because that's what matters. It's stop, it's go, it's stop, it's go, it's stop, it's go, right? Is deep belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. So when you breathe in, when a lot of people breathe in, they suck their belly in, right? You tell someone to take a deep breath, they go, you can't see it, but on my shoulders lift, right? And my whole upper body kind of gets engaged and tight. And really that's counter to what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to maximize our oxygen uptake, our air intake. And by restricting that and tightening the whole rib cage area in your upper body and not allowing as much air in, so we call it deep belly breathing. You can do it laying on the in bed at first to get used to it. And literally just lay in bed, put your hand on your belly, and as you breathe in, you let your belly get filled, you know? You look kind of pregnant. A lot of the times, talking about my my ego, there are videos that you see me and I'm deep belly breathing in as I'm setting into a pose, and it's a side view and a side profile, and I look pregnant kind of. My stomach, and I have a real hard time with that because, you know, but really, in fact, all it is I'm allowing my whole lower lungs to fill with air. My belly relaxes and expands. We spend so much time not letting that happen that it's, you know, it's interesting. Anyway, and then to get the breath out, squeeze all your abdominal muscles to get all the air out, right? That's when you restrict. You go and blow hard out. You do 3 big breathing things like that. That's for a quick recovery, right? So it's fill the belly, feel it, make it fill and stick out, and then breathe out and go. Okay, that's the Ujjayi. Breathe in there, right? So that you squeeze your belly and you expel, and that's a whole new thing I learned this year. I learned it from watching Lindsey Vonn. Not only has it helped me recover when I'm hiking, I have air that's amazing. I just have not ever really had this much ability to hike and not fatigue and keep breathing. I had a hard time with air intake for a long time. Don't know why. But anyway, I started doing it, and it helps with anxiety too. So it helps with my performance, it helps with my recovery, and it helps with my anxiety. Whereas that belly breathing technique really helped more with the performance and the recovery. But there's an anxiety component for whatever reason. I'm sure there's a physiological reason. But so Ujjayi breathing, there's a method to it, because you watch Lindsay in the gate, and she's there and she's going like it's these quick, fast bursts of energy out, right? And it's expending probably her nervous energy as well as highly oxygenating, because every time you go, there's an intake back that just because you relax and release. So you contract, release. On that release, you're breathing in the air. It's just a natural reaction. So I feel like your body uptakes it a little better, and it's for whatever reason. I don't know the physiological for that either. But Ujjayi breathing, practice it. Practice it when you're driving and you start getting anxiety. Practice it when you are running and you feel like you're losing your wind. You can't get your wind. You know that feeling? I get it. It's just these short bursts out, but you squeeze your abs, like squeeze them right now. Squeeze and go. Try 5. That's Ujjayi breathing. And let me know how it goes for you. My diaphragmatic deep belly breathing for sports helps. It does help, kind of maybe with meditation. I don't find that it helps me as much with my anxiety release. But I did watch Lindsey Vonn, and I did start doing that quick Ujjayi breathing. I did it 5 times in spurts of 5 because I just like to have a number. And people like a number. Oh, how many times do I do that? I did it 5. You might do 3 and be comforted by it, or you might need to do 10, and you might need to do it more. It's kind of play with it. The only way you're going to know what you need or don't need is by doing it. Okay, so deep belly breathing, breathe into the belly, let it expand, put something on your belly, lay in bed. There's a plate, a book, and as you breathe in, you should see it rise. And as you squeeze and expand, you're squeezing all that air out of your lung, it should lower, right? Do that, both of those, to a count of 5 if you can. It's hard to breathe into 5 at first when you're doing deep belly. You might even actually get those cramps that you'll get. People will get side stitches. You might get that. So be wary of that and back off. Don't go as deep or as long. Work up to 5 breaths in. The key for me and for a lot of my athletes is breathing out slowly. And I will tell you, the athletes that excel and have moved on to college sports are the ones that use it. And they still use it to this day. They'll say, oh, hey, by the way, I use that and I can't even tell you. I have like so much more wind and I recover faster. All right. And then the Ujjayi, it's very quick. It's squeeze out. I mean, I don't know if you know anything about breath of fire. I don't even know if it's Ujjayi, that's what I call it. That's what I've named it. For me, that's how I interpret it. That's the thing with sport yoga. You'll see I interpret a lot of different things my own way. Most of the time I'm right. I'm right on target. Sometimes my brain is so fried that I'm not. So if I'm off, I apologize. You can correct me. You don't have to like yell at me and stuff. So tell me, whatever it is. You can just, I don't even know what you can do. All right, Ujjayi. So it's quick, it's fast, it's breath of fire. You'll see them, they do it. They stick their tongue out and they go, okay, it's kind of that same squeeze, 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 right? But, and just do it 5 times. So you go, no, don't restrict that breath in. Don't force that end breath. So you go, what happens after that? Naturally, just naturally, your diaphragm releases and lets air in and you breathe in. Believe me, it happens. So you just go, okay? So do that at least 5 times. If you're nervous about doing something, if you have energy, it's your turn. You're going to shoot. You're going to shoot 3-pointer. Talk about basketball. You're going to kick. You're the running back, and you're the quarterback, and there's options. That breathing right there kind of can help center you and bring your heart rate down, and just get that. There's that whole fight or flight thing, and I think that Ujjayi, that breathing pattern helps you make it the fight. Like it becomes anticipatory. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's Driving with Tricia for breathing technique, because it's important. Breathing is very, very important, and I always knew that. And I see there's other yoga people all the yoga people do it and talk about it. So I'm not copying. I'm just going on what I've always done, and that's that. And I'm also letting you learn about something new that I never really did. I didn't get that breath of fire so much, but I kind of do now, and it has helped me remarkably, even more than the deep belly breathing. Or I've just conditioned better for hiking, because I hiked and I did pretty well with all these guys. All right, thank you for listening. I'll be back. Namaste.